Welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer, and today I have a over 500 page Achillean romance to talk to you about, and it's with a recurring author, and their name is Spencer Spears, and this is from the Murphy Brothers series. This is book 2, and it's 508 pages, but the story actually ends 498 pages in, and then I think it gives you an excerpt of the book 3. Well, yeah, technically it's 498 pages, but the whole thing is 508 pages. So I'm just going to go at 508. So this is the second book in the Murphy Brothers trilogy. I read the third book first, and I'm not going to read the first book because it's following Deacon, and I don't think Deacon's story appeals to me, so I'm just not going to read it. I got most of his story. I got the gist of his story through the other 2 stories. But Spencer Spears writes Achillean series that are usually 400, the late 400 to 500 pages, stories, plots. And I read 2 series from him now. I read the 8 Million Heart series. I read one from there. I think it was book 3 or book 4. And then it was Oliver Ever After from 8 Million Hearts. And then I read Murphy Brothers, The Savage Grace. And then this is Free Spirit. Again, I read it out of order. So if you're going to read it, I guess read it in order. You see Connor in here, and you will notice that there's hints of his plot being sprinkled in. You're finding out why he's not coming, why he doesn't visit them in the Summersea a lot, because of something that Deacon and Eleanor, their grandmother, had conspired to do, but Deacon didn't do it. But Connor was still mad about it, so he left. Emery, he kind of thinks he knows what's going on, but not really. But that's besides the point. It's not his story. This is him and Emery's and Tate's story. So he had his first relationship with Mitchell, and they're almost at the year mark. And I think they're at the 6-month mark. They moved in together, all that kind of stuff. And so all of a sudden, Mitchell just tells him out of the blue, they just signed the lease that week, that following week. The previous week, that they should see each other, see other people. And M is you mean in an open relationship? I guess, I never thought about that, but if you really want to do it, then I can do it. And if we get from Emery, M, he kind of is a pushover. Him and Mitchell, he didn't think Mitchell was the one for him. And then as they started dating, Mitchell became his life, basically. And he started to follow what Mitchell was saying, hey, maybe if you feel your stable job isn't your passion, maybe you should put priorities about what you want. So he quit his job and became what he really wanted to do, which was a photographer. Then Mitch is I didn't think you were actually going to do it. Why'd you quit your stable job for photography when it's not really a job? I think you're kind of immature. You're not responsible. I need to have someone on my level, and you're not that. So we should break up. So M moves out into a different apartment that's very um, disgusting. Like he had roach traps and everything. So, ugh. But a few months later, he gets a call from his brother Deacon and is like, "Hey, I'm getting married and I want you to come to the engagement party and please bring Mitch." He hasn't told any of his friends or some members that him and Mitch broke up because he doesn't want to seem as a charity case. He's the youngest of the brothers, the Murphy brothers, and he's also the sensitive one. Everyone thinks that he is, not everyone, I mean, in his mind, he thinks that everyone thinks he is a failure. He's 25. He only had one relationship and didn't even last a year. So he's like, no, Mitch can't come. I don't think Mitch can come. And Deacon like guilt trips him into saying, okay, I'll see what I can do. We'll come. And then Deacon then tells all his friends that Mitch and Emery are coming to Summersea. So his friends are like really like gassed up about finally meeting this mystery boyfriend who doesn't exist anymore. And M is like, okay, now I have to like go on dates to find someone to fake date me for a weekend while this engagement party is going on. And that takes us to Tate. And Tate is working at a bar that his grandmother owns. And we get like hints of like his background. He is a part of a very religious, heavy, wealthy family. And he is dealing with like his own issues with that family. He realizes that he doesn't want to be part of that crowd anymore. And it's taken him a year for that. Like he's been living with his grandmother at this bar for a year. So M starts taking his dates to these bars, and Tate sees all this going on and realizes that like he is crashing and burning. So at one point in time, they finally like talk, and M tells him the story of like why he needs this date. And Tate's like, oh, well, I have business that I need to look into at Summersea. So how about I just do it? And M is like, well, you're straight. So like, I don't know, how could you fake date? Like you have to like be a couple with me, hand holding, showing affection, and you're straight. And like Tate's business on Summersea Island relays like heavily into the story. So I don't want to give that one up, but it relays heavy into the story. But they decide to do it. They decide to fake date. And the only thing about it is Tate hasn't told him his whole like background, really. We get that. And then Tate starts to question his sexuality on that weekend. But they part ways again until while they're meeting, because they're friends now. While they're meeting, we get a phone call from Deacon, I think, and it's telling us that his grandfather, who has been estranged from the family, they cut them off because their mother married beneath them. So the Murphy brothers could have been a rich family, but their grandparents, who have all the wealth, decided that since their only female child at that too, married beneath her in the family's wealth, that she was going to be cut off from the family, and the grandparents haven't been in any of the boys' lives. And then once their parents died, it was like tentatively, but only Deacon, the oldest brother, would be talking to the grandmother Eleanor. So like that's the context. So like we find out that his grandfather dies and they're holding the funeral, but Deacon and Connor need M to go to the funeral in their place. Tate, who is like you realizing that he's actually having feelings for M, decides, hey, again, I need to go to Summer Sea to figure out what's going on with my grandmother's family. Like, why is this company keep calling about this estate that my grandmother is like named a part of? So we meet Eleanor, which was a whole like weird thing. But if you read this book first, you won't like her. But now that I know from the third book, I kind of can see, I still don't like her, but like I understand what she had to do. Like there's some things that you just have to do in order to push through something. So she just had to do things. Anyways, this is when we get to the point of they get drunk and Tate has his bi-awakening and lets M do some things to him and then wakes up and regrets it. So then he just leaves M. And I'll let you know, if you want to read the book, continue that. But basically, this is their love story. So it's crazy. And then I literally just set the whole entire back, basically. I gave you more detail, but literally set the whole back. But it's their love story together. And I think this was okay. The steam is a 1 because there were only 2 scenes of steam out of a 500-page book. And the first one was like the BJ, and the second one was like the full-blown having sex. But that's a 1. The angst, I totally think that M is a pushover. Like he was a pushover. People were just mowing over his feelings, and he just let them. That's my only gripe about M and him not having a backbone, because like some of the things that his brothers were doing, and especially his friends, like if those were friends, I'd rather have enemies than those be my friends, because he chopped it up to them being his friends because like they never made fun of him being gay. And again, Summer Sea is like a small island, so everyone knows everyone. So there's not a lot of gay guys there. I'm thinking like the brothers are probably the only gay guys there because Maul moved there. So I'm just saying. And he had to do like a lot at school. And so these friends never bullied him for that. But they did humiliate him for everything else that he has ever did. Like his dreams. Like they made fun of him when he said that he wanted to be a doctor but fainted outside of blood. And they bring this up now. And then they think that Tate is a pay for hire. So like they're making fun of him for that. And then Tate's like, what? It was just like a lot. I definitely don't need friends like that. Like that's ops. I'm sorry, that's your ops now. Like you just go. That's your ops. But yeah, so there's that. And he's just like a pushover because like he let them talk down to him like that. Like he didn't say nothing. He went away and felt sorry for himself, which I understand that. I just wish that like you're grown now, you should be able to express yourself, especially to like your friends, and tell them like, yo, like stop. Just stop it. But whatever. I was getting pissed off. And especially like, and then like his brothers, how they conspired against him to talk about his feelings. I was just like, that's a violation. You used a situation, an event that like I knew I couldn't get out of. And then I get there and there's no events. So now I'm stuck because I rode with my brother. Like I was just, wow. And then even with like him taking Tate back, it was just a lot to deal with because I'm just like, yo, like, I mean, he technically like left you, he abandoned you. And like that, it's not a good reason. Like his reason was not okay. It's understandable, but I can't judge other people's recovery times when it comes to their feelings, whatever. But I felt a certain kind of way, and I was just like, nah, we're not doing that. I would have made him grovel. I don't even think he made him grovel. Yeah, anyways, let me just get off this because I'm getting mad. But I think I'm gonna give this book a 3. It was good. It's not I won't reread it, but it was okay for what it was. And I did enjoy it. It took me like 3 days to read it. So that's how I know it wasn't like a 4. Because usually my 4s I can read in like that. Or maybe take me 2 days because I started reading it at like, I don't know, 6, and it's like big, and I have other things to do, so I didn't finish it the next day. But this one I just stopped reading and then I would, do other things. I read 2 other books while reading this. So that says something. Just saying. But I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I got it out the way. It's not a reread for me, but I'm glad I did finally get this. And hopefully one of you guys will like it. Because again, it's not bad. It's just not for me. I wanted more steam. I wanted more angst. And this is very fluffy. So, yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer. If you want to see more videos from me, please like and subscribe because I post a video almost every single day, sometimes twice a day. And you just need to like be there with me and get some like good recommendations. And so, if a book I don't like, you probably might like it. Just hear me out. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.